Putting Joseph in the well may have been a good stalling tactic by Reuben, and he may have been quite happy with himself, but as far as Joseph was concerned, the pit was the end. His life had been threatened, his body was hurting, and his future was now uncertain. It would appear that his dreams were purely that now, just a dream, a fantasy. Just like the well that was empty, all of a sudden, so were those dreams. For Joseph, this was it. This was the end of the road, and to the best of his knowledge, the end of his life. He was far from home in a pit with no chance of escape and at the mercy of his merciless brothers. He was in the dark, and he was all alone. Are you just a little bit curious how Joseph was feeling right at this moment? We're not told at this exact point in the narrative about his response. His brothers tell us that later in the story. Fast forward to Genesis 42 verse 21. We are told that Joseph was devastatingly distressed and pleaded loudly with his brothers in the hope they would spare his life. He wasn't sitting at the bottom of the well, excited about this new twist on his life. He wasn't confident that things were going to get better. He didn't have faith that everything was going to be okay. No, he was distraught, just like most of us would have been in his situation. He was devastated like most of us have been, or even still are, when things don't work out like they were supposed to, when things don't pan out like God promised, or like what was prophesied over us, when our dreams go dry. Joseph was shattered, like we are or have been when a crisis hits us and we can't go back and there seems to be no way out. Here, as Joseph slumped in the bottom of the deep, dark hole, he had been stripped of his coat, he had been stripped of his identity, stripped of his position, stripped of his favour, his dreams, his hopes, his freedom, and his future. As far as he could tell, God had failed him, and his family had failed him. He may even have had some thoughts about how he had failed himself. He was literally in a dark place, all alone, with no hope and seemingly no future.